What up? What up? So, the elves and the shoemaker. I'm just gonna get right into it. So, this is part two. This is the episode that I have not talked about yet. If you didn't hear the other episodes, I didn't really talk about them too much. My opinion of them was pretty straightforward and simple. So, they're all compressed into one video. That's the one that says the Grimm Variations IMO Part 1. This is part two. And so in part two, I'm going to talk about the one that I skipped over because I have a lot more to say about the elves and the shoemaker. So this one gets its own video, but it won't be long because I have something that I was really looking forward to doing, but I was just like, I really want to share my opinion on this anime, The Grimm Variations. If you have not seen The Grimm Variations, it is on Netflix and it is lit. 6 episodes, 43 minutes. I mean, the longest episode is about 43 minutes. They're, close to an hour, but the shortest one is 32 minutes. That's the one it was the last one I talked about when I left off on the previous video. Go watch it if you haven't seen it, because this is part two. I'm only talking about one episode on this video. You won't hear any mentionings of the other episodes. Okay? You have been warned. Spoiler alert. You have also been warned. Um, you have also been warned. Uh, 5 seconds. Blah blah blah. All right. Now I'm about to talk deeply about this. So I don't remember anyone's name because I watched this days ago, but it's still fresh in my head. So screw the names. The author. Um, I didn't really feel any confusion. The only one that kind of had me like, huh, was my favorite episode that I'm not going to mention because I already talked about that. When that elf, so the story behind that one is like elves these three elves come to help this husband and wife that are like very poor, impoverished, and pretty much they do a lot of things in the store that just make everything look clean and shiny and attractive. So people come and they start attracting a lot of business. So this couple starts making a lot of money, and business is doing good again. They make these three elves some outfits, and they give them the outfit. The elves put the outfits on immediately, and pretty much they leave and go on about their business. And the moral of the story is pretty much to, even if it's tough, well, no, not even if it's tough, but pretty much to help people. If you see somebody need something, see somebody struggling, help them out, and just pretty much be a good Samaritan. But it had some other stuff on there. I'm not about to look anything up. Okay, do your own research. I went and looked up. I recommend doing a little bit of a background on everything so you can just remember or have a refresher or just be completely enlightened about these stories. All right. Well, I don't know what word I thought I was struggling to figure out. Maybe that's why I couldn't figure it out because there is no word. I tried to look it up. I guess it's a fable. And the book that I had was called Aesop's Fables. I'm gonna try to get this book back because I got kids now. Oops. I hope you've been able to hear me because I had the this. But yeah, whatever. Aesop's Fables. Maybe I've been calling them that because I thought that was the name, and maybe that's the word I was looking for. So, um, that's the story with the elves. Okay. Um, After that, so in this story, because what Grimm Variations does is just take all these fables and twists twists them. So They don't the time frame, like everything. It's just you don't know what you're gonna get when you start the episode. Everything is just like some other world type thing going on clearly. So in the mice and the shoemaker, the elves and the shoemaker, I only really remember seeing one elf, but I guess the idea is that that man had people, things helping him, and this is all my opinion. But he had entities helping him, or just that girl, and you know, wasn't he had all those stories being he had that story being written for him, the first one that was written for him, and he tried to later on the story he tries to act like, did I write them? Tell me, was it me? And it's like, bro, you know it wasn't you. Like you was literally not gonna publish them at first because you didn't do them, and now you talking about they sound like me. Is it me? Like she's supposed to tell you. That's why she was just looking at him. She looking at him like, nigga, like really? Now you want to play dumb? You saw she didn't answer him. She was just like, ugh, how pathetic. This is sad. I did not know that this is how this was gonna go. Like, oh, now you gonna kill me? Gonna murder me? Well, at least in the Japanese version, I'm hearing in the English dub, she says something else, and I'm like, she didn't even say all that. So there go. This the y'all wonder why I don't watch dub. I have a lot of reasons, but that's one of them. The translation, like they be messing up stuff, and it's like nobody said that, or they be leaving stuff out. Plus, I like reading. I grew up always reading, always had a book in my hand, so I don't mind reading subtitles. Just feels like I'm reading a book. That's why I asked that question in that short, and I was like, "Am I reading? Am I reading?" So I feel like she showed him. It's almost like she was showing him. He was being shown like two lives that he could have had to choose from, and so he pretty much chose the one where he's wealthy and rich and famous, and you know, I believe she was disappointed because she was lending a hand and trying to help, but he didn't really take the help. He kind of took it and ran, and not in a good way. Like, took the help, but never wrote another thing himself again. He just completely just let someone else do all the work and was over here. Yeah, yeah, I'm the best author. Yeah, yeah. And it's like, you ain't wrote nothing in years. What you talking about? So that mental breakdown he was having, I was just like, I couldn't even feel sorry for him. But that was the only episode where I really felt like shit, stuff was just effed up. Like, dang, that sucks. That sucks. Like, that was the only episode where I feel like the ending was just like, that sucks. The only real sad ending was that episode, in my opinion. I know in you can say that was kind of sad, but not really. It was more like a revelation and then kind of a happy ending because the reunion at the end of it all. But and that's all I'm gonna say because go watch the last video if you want to know what I'm talking about. But I didn't even talk about much on the last video. The last video was just kind of just to say, this is what happened. It was twisted. This is what happened. It was twisted. But I didn't go into depth. This is the only one I really want to talk about. I might do a Hansel and Gretel. I might do one for Hansel and Gretel, but that's it. Anyway, just because that was my favorite episode, I guess. But anyway, back to the point. Um, I I just feel like That's what happened. I feel like, when he was looking in that room and it was him writing, but you saw that caution, do not cross tape. I feel like it was high key a foreshadowing that he was about to die. Because why else would that have been there? That was just so like weird and just like, why is that tape there? Like, this is a crime scene. What he do by the end of the episode? What he done did? Now you tell me that ain't some foreshadowing. Oh, but anyway, and then he see the other life that he could have had when he had his girl, he had a lady, he had a woman by his side. They got a baby. Like things could have really went really nice. And he got to see like this is what you could have had. If you just would have been honest, finish the story that I liked, the one I said was good. But it's like, but you didn't say it was good. You said some other stuff. But she really told him exactly what he needed to know to make his stories better, to fix them. And instead of taking that advice, he was just like, "Who is you? What you say? Who you talking to?" And so misses the whole thing and just takes the direct help. If anything, those stories were meant to show him something like this. And so he was just like, I didn't even write this. And I don't know, just submitting stuff that he knows he didn't write. People be trying to play them after they get caught. Oh, oh, I did that. What? I was it me? Did I write it? Anyway, not to say I didn't feel sorry for him. I really thought it was effed up that she had to show him all that. Like, you didn't have to show him that. Like, you did not have to show him that. I would have did the same thing, honestly. I'm glad that real life is not like that. Can you imagine? But anyway, like, you making the wrong decision in life and you getting shown, well, you could have been the next Michael Jackson, but you didn't want to practice. So now you're a bum. I don't know. Like, you get the picture. Like, people would be that this. There wouldn't be a lot of people here, because at that point, like, okay, why would I keep living? But taking off the dramatizations, which aren't really dramatizations, but coming off of that, trigger warning, mentionings of self harm, um, mentionings of the S word, ooh-eyed, um, side. Okay, trigger warning. But yeah, he ends up killing himself after he sees that. Like, it was enough to realize, wait, so I'm not. Where's all that money? I thought I was living out here. I thought my life was looking like that. Huh? Like, what happened? And then to see, if you would have just been honest and took those tips and really applied them and looked at the stories and really just studied that and applied it and stayed stern with your nose, telling these people, no, I'm not publishing that. I didn't write it. No, you can't publish it. Like, you trying to publish your own story alongside the one that they're waiting for. Oh, well, how about this? And like, go fix it. Go make those changes. Make some adjustments. Instead, you just whatever and just, yeah, okay, yep, I wrote this. I wrote this. Ooh, yep, I wrote this too. And then the rug is pulled from under your feet. And obviously somebody was helping you. And yeah, but that sucks to see that. Like, dang, it. Nobody wants to be like to see that. Like, yep, all you had to do was be honest and do the right thing. Be earnest and really earn your levels, and you you would have had a humble life, but you would have been happier. A whole lady, and she was, pretty. Had a whole fucking baby. That really sucks. He lived the life that he, and then he lived the life that he thought he wanted. What would have actually made him happy was something completely different. And all he just had to stay true to himself and just be honest and upfront. Change the story. Stop being so stubborn, and it's perfect. I don't. Everybody else. I don't know why they won't read it. I don't know what's the problem. And then he even asked a lady for. He even asked one of the publishers, like, "What do you think?" And she told him. So it's just like, I don't know. I guess he just was stubborn. Stubbornness really got the best of him. Stubbornness and laziness. Those are like two of the biggest sins, aren't they? At least in the Bible. But that was like self-inflicted. Because me personally, I'm gonna take the advice. I'm gonna try to fix it. He didn't even try. He was just ready to give up. And it was even foreshadowing how them people thought that he was gonna. I don't know if they thought he was gonna kill himself, but I know they was looking at him like those are the kind of people that be going crazy and doing crazy stuff. They were saying kill other people, but it was actually himself. But yeah, that cross tape in the room, he in there, and it's just like, hold on. So where am I? What is going on? Everything looked like letters to him because he's so detached from everybody. He don't care about people. He don't care what they think. He feels like he's above them, like they don't matter. Like they just need to like his stories. Doesn't even like people for real. Even what he was writing about, you saw when they showed what he was writing about, and just pretty much like he would be having some dark thoughts and stuff. Some about what he say, whatever he wrote, something about stab her to death or something. But it was just like it's not like he was this upstanding guy and stuff didn't go well. Like, uh, but yeah, stubbornness and laziness are a dangerous thing. He was clearly more than stubborn and more than lazy. I mean, I won't even say that. I'll just say depressed or just he wasn't doing anything to make life any interesting. He wasn't even giving himself anything to even write about. Just staying cooped up in the house all the time. But anyway, I could go on and on and on about that episode. But I just feel like the I know the elf was supposed to be the twist is that the elf was not really, I guess, a good guy, good person. But in my opinion, the elf came, the elves came, they helped, even if they weren't nice about it. I mean, I guess that's the only thing. The elf was really twisted, but you know, there was help. It just wasn't really taken. And then, all the seemingly parallel worlds and universes that were going on all at the same time. But I do think that's a fitting end. It sucks. I would have loved to have seen that story end with him just fixing the story, just fixing the freaking stories, and just having that wife and that baby. But anyway, those are my opinions on that episode. I just feel like a lot of stuff was like foreshadowing. I just feel like a lot of the things that happened in that episode were based off of like a writer's in a writer's world, like all those words, like soliloquy and onomatopoeia. I mean, maybe not that one, but just what's that word? Ah, well, whatever. I'm not remembering what it is right now, but and that word I was trying to think of, I don't think it's Aesop's fables. I'm like, I don't think that was it. I think I'm still trying to think of it, and it might start with a G. But bottom line, um, that was the most interesting. Not really interesting, but it was just it had a lot going on, and I think a lot there was a lot more going on. There was a lot of stuff that wasn't being said, a lot of stuff that wasn't being addressed that was taking up most of that story. Some stuff was being shown, and I feel like visually, like we were given nothing. We were given nothing, like compared to all the other stories that had so many visual hints and clues and in your face. I'm like, this is what it is going on. That was the only episode that was just not doing that at all, and everything it was highly based on the dialogue and just some visual stuff. But like, I just feel like you really just had to be paying attention, and if you're somebody that be multitasking while they watch an anime, and what is such a perk to watching it in the original language is that I'm focused. Like, yeah, I only watch anime at certain times because I know it's something that I have to sit there and look at and follow along like I'm reading a book. But that's fine because I don't ever multitask when I'm watching anime. And if I am, I'm like folding laundry and I'm like, my eyes are on the screen and I read fast, so it works for me. Um, because the translation, like, I don't know what got said in the English version, but I just feel like sometimes, depending on the story and what they're saying, a lot of those words already don't even translate to English in the first place. So it's like, I don't know. But I feel like if you did watch it in English, it's possible you missed something, even if it's a little thing. In that episode, a little thing can turn into a ripple effect, and you could just end up being completely lost. But that episode made complete sense to me. I never felt like I was lost or didn't get something. It seemed pretty obvious what happened. I could be wrong though. This is all my opinion, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. Um, so, but yeah, that episode was like heavily reliant on, the words being said. And I know something like that is just, it's really intricate. So you can't just slap some English on top of that and think it's going to be okay. Um, Especially in these days. But yeah, it's all good though. If it's not like it's a crazy, mind blowing, like, oh, that's what happened. Like, but I really liked that episode, and maybe because I just relate. It was on a subject that it was on one of my favorite subjects, writing. As a writer, I wasn't gonna say it, but yes, as a writer, as a fellow writer, I was all up in episode 5. What you mean? Is that episode 5? Episode 4. If I've been saying episode 5 this entire time, hopefully somebody realized that I meant episode 4. Well, yeah, because I'm talking, you hear what I'm talking about. So clearly, oh, she must be confused. Yeah. But yeah, bro. I was really into it. I was all up in that episode because I was like, ooh, my favorite subject. What is this? Like, where is it? Like, I was just so intrigued and interested. That's why I was like, it was the most interesting one. But I feel like 97% of people probably thought that one was the most boring and confusing and pointless. And it's unfortunate, but it's really not. So glad I'm not you. But anyway, um, but yes, the elves and the shoemaker. The elves came in, they helped, but the receiving end was not better off in the end like they should have been. They should have been better off. That elf, her personality, she just seemed like she didn't like to have to spell stuff out for people. I think she really just she feels like she gave him advice, she tried to help him, but it's like based off of how the real story goes, the husband and wife, like they were actually decent, good people, and the elves were too. Like in this one, it's like nobody was really in that role. Like everybody was just kind of, I don't know about you. Even the elf, like that's why I said everybody was just kind of like, can't really say that you're nice, but yeah, Heyman helped, and he did not get the the help and the happiness that was supposed to come at the end of the elves' help. He ended up killing himself. And in the story, the husband and wife end up, you know, having lots of money, stores running and operating great. They making clothes for the elves because they're just so grateful. And in this one, the elf comes in her twisted way, tells this dude what to do. And he's just like, "You're a kid. What do you know?" Like so disrespectful, and asking everybody for advice. Finally getting it and just completely dismissing it. And just plagiarizing pretty much, like playing with God, and then the twist, like the effed up part, was just being shown what was supposed to happen. And it's just like, well, if you would have listened to me, this is what your life would have been like. But instead, you lived that cheap life and have nothing to show for it. And he was just like, he was done. He was done. After realizing all of that wasn't even real and that it was really supposed to go like this, that sucks. The part for me, my favorite part of that episode, the craziest mind blowing part of that episode for me was the crossing tape on his steps leading to his apartment, and just like him, like something being in that red room and just riding away. Like that was the mind, because I didn't even, I'm looking at that like, wait, what is happening? What is happening? And he kills himself at the end of the episode, and then I'm kind of just like, wait a second, what kind of foreshadowing? AS? Not really foreshadowing, but I guess it was. Like that episode was pretty crazy. So anyway, all right, I got it out of my system. Um, if I would have recorded this video days ago, I would have had a lot more to say, but I think it's for the best. Well, no, I don't. I wish I would have recorded it days ago, but that's what happens when you don't be on top of yourself like you should. But going forward, when I have something that I'm thinking about recording or an idea, I'm gonna hop on it and do it right away. So anyway, I'll catch you in the next video because I am gonna kind of talk about Hansel and Gretel, but it won't be as long as this one because I don't have that much to say. But I just want to give my opinion on it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in part 3.